I asked the dude, I'm like, how do you feel about being a murderer, a killer? And would you do it again? And he's like, if I had to, I'd do it again. But I found Jesus when I was in there. And God forgave me for my sins. He's been forgiven. So he's good now. It doesn't matter that he murdered somebody. It doesn't matter that he raped somebody. Jesus got him. Hey, freak, go, man. Let's get straight to the biz. All right, so I'm not finna go too deep. I'm not finna go too deep. My whole life, I was battling religion and stuff like that, dealing with it, understanding it, trying to conceptualize and understand it. And I had problems with it because people would tell me it was literal, and there's like, no offense, but I do better if you tell me it's allegorical. It's like a metaphor, you know? Anyway, from my angle, my perspective, I studied a lot of different religions, etymology, a little bit of Latin to understand how root words work, and numerology, astrology, all these things. And amongst all these different studies, there are common denominators and what I call universal truths. So you got the world and then you got earth. The world is an agreed upon consciousness amongst the people on the planet. My world says it's not okay to eat humans. You know, we all agree that it's not okay to eat humans. You got some people that do it, they're weird, they're strange, they're exiled, they're shunned. We don't like them, right? On the planet Earth, there's no real rules. Like there's some rules about like you do this, it dies. You do that to the tree, it dies. Those are like earth truths. We dealing with world truths. So religions, they have some common denominator world truths, right? The world truths are what I resonate with and what I like to walk with and I garner my faith through. Anyway, this is the hot take because I'll get long winded real quick. I'll get long winded real quick. All right, so I subscribe to the idea of yin and yang. I look at everything like a magnet. You got a negative charge, a positive charge, and you got that space in between, which is zero. So you got -1, 0, +1, however you want to look at it. Either you're giving, taking, or you're not doing anything. It's one of the three. There are no other options. So either you're the actor, the reactant, or the observer, right? That's one ideology in my perspective of life. Second, because everything is yin and yang, there's a dark side and a light side. Dark is the reacting, the intaking side. The light is the outgoing. So right now, I'm the light, you're the dark. I'm pushing out energy, you're receiving energy. The devices in between is the zero. I'm +1, our devices are zero. Boom, that's out the way. You understand the magnet, right? So yin and yang is all about perspectives. So like, fuck it, I'm gonna just shoot. All right, so for somebody that's not under the roof of religion, damn, y'all finna hate me for this. Somebody that's not under the roof of religion, you got one entity that was sent down by God. Then you got one entity that was kicked out by God. You got one entity that was the most beloved and sent to be sacrificed by God for the masses. Then you got one entity that was kicked out and influences the masses to get away from God. So, in my imagination, I think they're the same entity. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Don't hit unsubscribe just so fast. Don't hit the dislike just so fast. Let me cook. Let me cook. If you think about it, the stories are very similar. And it's just like, do you look at them so differently because you were programmed to look at them differently? Like, can you take yourself out of that perspective to understand what I'm trying to say? One was sent down, one was kicked out. One is the antagonist, one is the protagonist. So the way I look at it is like when I was younger, I wanted to make my own religion. I'm not gonna lie. When I was 18, so I studied the building blocks of how to make a religion. You gotta have a bad guy. You gotta have an antagonist. So anytime something wrong happens, you blame the antagonist. Anytime something good happens, you give it to the protagonist. So in Christianity, you have the good guy and the bad guy. When something bad happens, it's this one. When something good happens, it's that one. You'll see people all the time say, thank God that I survived this car crash, right? And I'm like, well, who caused the car crash? Was that not God too? It gets tricky because everybody's picking and choosing what they want something to mean based off of what you know what I mean? But I look at it just like it's whatever you make it. It's whatever perspective you resonate with the most. If I apply for a job, I get the job, but say I take it from a man who is about to lose everything in life, lose his kids, lose his house, get divorced, and everything goes to shamble if he doesn't get that job. Do I get karma for getting that job because he didn't get the job? Is God mad at him and happy with me? Or because we're chasing money, is that Satan that's happy with me? It's like you see what I'm saying? People get to pick and choose, but it's all based off perspective. If I'm driving I'm driving an Uber. I got a family of four in my car, a mom, a dad, and two kids, and a dog. A dog runs across the road. If I hit the dog and kill the dog, do I deserve karma for that? Because I saved four lives. If I swerve and save the dog, I might kill the people in the car. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, are you a good guy or bad guy? It's all perspective. Now, there's some universal truths that we all know is bad. There's no reason to assault a baby. There's no reason to take advantage of anybody. There's no reason to abuse anybody. Things like that. That's nothing to do with religion. There are some things where we don't even have to speak the same language, or we both know, hey, somebody's drowning in the water. We need to come together to pull them out the water. You don't need religion. You don't need language. There's universal truths. And that's why I struggle with religion. And also the fact that my little brother is autistic. And shout out to April, Autism Awareness Month. I know this is the last day, but I meant to do something for it, but everything got thrown out of rhythm with my computer dying and shit. Okay, whatever. Anyway, shout out to my little brother. My little brother has autism, and my mom was a single parent, so I was kind of let her tell it. It's not how it goes, but I'm a child, so like my time is amplified in my perspective. A summer felt like forever when you were a kid. You know, 1 year felt like forever when you were a kid, and that was a chunk of my youth where I was damn near like a parent sibling because my mom had to work, I understand, and I had to watch my little brother, and I couldn't have company. I couldn't go anywhere until we moved to Texas and had my family in the house with us, and then I kind of got to be free. That's a whole nother story for another day. But anyway, me having an autistic little brother changed the game for me because I was just like, wait, they tell me I gotta ask for forgiveness for something I didn't do, like just being born, you fucked up. You just like you committed a sin just by being born. So it's like I ain't gonna do I don't even know how to explain that shit. But it's like I gotta ask for forgiveness. So to fast forward to my point, does my little brother have to do that, or is he going to hell? You know, quote unquote. Is he going to hell? Because he's not going to do that. He doesn't think like that. He doesn't value that. He doesn't care about that. And then in my head, I'm like, well, I'm going wherever he's going. So be it. That's one reason why I struggle with religion. The second reason I struggle with religion was because when I had a bunch of questions, people were just like, God knows everything. God knows your truth. God knows who you are within and without. So I'm like, all right, cool. Because I'll get to a point where they have no answers for my questions, even at 12. And we could talk about star seeds another day. My dreams at 5, my awakenings at 12, and blah, blah, blah. That's a whole nother thing. But I'm like, wait. So at the end of the road, people are like, you just got to have faith. I'm like, so you don't have the answers, but you telling me you know this is what it is. That's weird. But okay, cool. I'm not gonna subscribe to something if you can't inform me properly on what I need to do or what it is that's happening. So I'm just like, well, if I pretend to be a follower or a worshiper, God will know that I'm being fraudulent. I have an internal compass that tells me which way to take this thing we call life. And I'm pretty sure that the source, which most people call God, is guiding it. My whole goal is just to be a good person, bro. It's not that deep, bro. It's really not that deep. If you don't resonate with something, it's probably not what's good for you, specifically for you. I can go on for hours, but there's a bunch of reasons to why I struggle with religion. But at the same time, as an Uber driver, I respect religion because something or somebody has my back. That's not in the physical. Whether it's my grandma who was big on religion, she might be covering me. Who knows? It could be my grandfathers who I never really met. Who knows? Who knows? It depends on what you subscribe to, what you believe. You know what I mean? Or it could be that I'm doing this the right way, so I'm protected. Knock on wood, but I could be messing up my future. Something bad could happen to me. Who knows? Just based off of me talking like this, I'm still staying humble. I'm not trying to be cocky. I'm just saying something's going right. For the most part, we all have our struggles, and sometimes my struggles do come from lack of faith. Whether it's just lack of faith in, can I lose the weight again? Will this work? Will I be successful? Why is my alternator breaking on me again? Why I can't hit this parlay? Blah blah blah. I'm going for days, but I think it's just be a good person, yo. Trust what resonates with your heart. I'm sorry to go on a tangent. I just feel like I know it's right and I know it's wrong. And sometimes we choose wrong. Sometimes we choose to do what we know we're not supposed to do in life. Those are things we got to face. But we all got an inner voice within our head, and you got to decide if that's the voice you should be listening to or not, because we are all easily influenced. And I'm not trying to influence anybody. But what I was getting to as far as the Uber driver thing, I've literally been in a car with murderers. There was one guy that had got out of prison for murder. His time got reduced for good behavior, and it was considered, I don't know. He committed murder. He got out. And the guy told me some pretty disturbing things, like even how he was assaulting men in prison, taking their manhood in prison, but he's not a homosexual. He's just a sexual deviant, and he had to do what he had to do to survive. Heavy shit. And this is a 45-minute trip with this man. And I found this out within the first 3 to 5 minutes. You know, I'm able to communicate with all walks of life because I have experiences and stories, even if they're not my stories, to share with people, to build and bond with. And so I'm picking him up from one woman's house. They used to put money on his books and spend money on him, and taking him to another woman's house. And I don't even think they know that he was in jail raping grown men. And now he's out around their kids and blah, blah, blah. That's neither here nor there. My point is, I'm with a pure savage, right? On paper, he's a pure savage. In the car, he just seemed like another guy that I would know. Skin like me, locks, I really don't know what else to say about describing him. His skin was a little darker than mine, but you know, the conversation was normal, it was chill. I don't show no fear because, like I say, I walk with faith. Even if it's not to the same thing you might walk with faith to, I walk with faith. And I know if we all gotta go, we all gotta go. I'm driving a car. I'm in control of both our lives. We all gotta go straight like that. Anyway, let me wrap this up. This video is getting too long. I asked the dude, I'm like, how do you feel about being a murderer, a killer, and would you do it again? And he's like, if I had to, I'd do it again. But I found Jesus when I was in there. I found Jesus Christ when I was in there. And God forgave me for my sins. Like he went down the whole tangent. You know what I'm talking about. He's been forgiven. So he's good now. It doesn't matter that he murdered somebody. It doesn't matter that he raped somebody. Jesus got him. But to bring it to full circle, my point was, even if I don't subscribe to Jesus, in a sense, Jesus is still protecting me, because if that guy didn't have Jesus, or if I sat there and debated him and tried to take that away from him, who's to say he wouldn't do something to me, like harm me, take me out? Who's to say that he wouldn't be out here taking lives left and right, or still assaulting people in the free world? So I'm like, dang, even if I don't subscribe to something, that entity and energy is so powerful that I'm still protected by it in a way. So ever since then, I've grown and appreciated Jesus and religion to a whole nother level, because it's like, even if I don't subscribe to you, you still protect me too. You know, you still show me love. And so I made a deal with the entity of Jesus, because I never said I don't believe in Jesus. I don't subscribe to Jesus. And I use those words very specifically. I don't subscribe to Jesus. I just, I respect Jesus. All right, you over there? Cool, I'm over here. But my deal is, I'm not reading no scriptures on my own free will. I'm not doing no Bible verses on my own free will. If you want to talk to me, send somebody to me to talk to me. And as an Uber driver, there's ample amount of opportunity for people to come talk to me and share the word with me whenever Jesus feels like it's time. So, and I tell people that they'll try to refer me to a Bible scripture. I'm like, I'm good on that. If you got something you want to say to me, then share that with me right now and we could talk. I'll turn the Uber off and we can talk, because I have a deal. The deal is, if you want to communicate with me, come to me through a vessel. Come to me in person so I can have dialogue and feel the conversation. Because if I read something, that's going to take all my magic and my imagination and put it into the words to make it mean something that means something to me. It's taking my magic. If I say this is my lucky controller, right? And I take this controller with me everywhere. It's not just about playing the game. This is my lucky controller. And every time something good happens, I give credit to this controller being on me. And if something bad happens and I don't have this controller on me, then I have reason to believe it's because I didn't have my lucky controller. So then I start to cherish this lucky controller. It breaks, I put tape on it. It don't work no more, I still keep it in my pocket. I put all my magic into this. It's what they call a totem. So if you have the ability to make totems and it's based off of your belief and stuff, then that's your magic. That's your power. So if I got to read the words and use my magic and all my experiences for it to be true, that's manipulation. That's harnessing my magic to use it for a different agenda or a different cause. So this is my realm of thinking, my reality. If you don't appreciate it, I respect it. I can't control that. That's just how I see things. That's why I don't use crystals anymore. You buy a crystal and they tell you, so you gotta do this, you gotta do that, you gotta do this, you gotta wash it under the full moon, and then you gotta think and you gotta hold it and close your eyes and do this mantra and say this mantra, and then you'll have these abilities. Boom, boom, boom. And when somebody does this, boom, boom, boom. So it's like the crystal isn't even the magic. The magic is you having that possession, believing in it, and then putting all your energy into that possession. The manipulation is the person that told you what the amethyst does. It's the person that told you what that crystal does. It's like, well, I could have made it do this. They got money crystals. So I could have made the money crystal my protective crystal. I could have made the money crystal my good energy crystal. You want to receive money, I want to receive good energy. You have that power. We are the magicians. I'm not a evil person. I don't have no negative things to do or want to do towards you. This is just how I move amongst this planet. You know what I mean? Anyway, I went down a long tangent. The hot take was, in my world, sometimes I think Jesus and Satan are the same entity, just one on a good day, one on a bad day. One from this angle or angel, one from this demon or nomad. Demon spelled backwards, etymology wise, is nomad or nomad, which means you're traveling freely, no true home. You're going against stability. You're going against a core. You're going against a base. Angle or angels are all alignments. So it's like if something doesn't work with the angle or angel, it's a nomad. It's going against the angles. It's going against the core. So you could be a blood and that person could be a crip. And because y'all got two different angles, that person's a demon to you. And I know this shit is crazy, bro. I know this shit gets too deep. It's a rabbit hole. And I'm an Uber driver, so that doesn't help because I get plenty of time to think and reinforce my thoughts with the things that's going around me. But that's what it is. That's what I was talking about. Stay tuned for the next episode of Impatient Ren versus Chris Webby. You know what I mean? Or Ren times Chris Webby. Yeah. Welcome back to the channel, man. We're gonna get some more lighter stuff out of here, bro. This I hate when I get too deep on these topics, man. But fuck it. It is what it is, bro, right? It is what it is. Hey, Freako out, man.